the 5 kingdom keys for business success. That's what we're going to focus on today. And leadership is a result of a person who have discovered these 5 kingdom keys that were introduced by God. They are necessary for personal and corporate success. These 5 keys are used by Bill Gates, Stephen Jobs. They're used by McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken. These 5 keys are used by Pizza Hut, Denny's. These 5 keys are used by Coca-Cola. All the major organizations and companies in the world that are doing very well, they use these 5 principles. And yet these 5 principles came from the Bible. So what shocks me is that the people that we call the world are using them very successfully, and the folks who are claiming to be in God, they are suffering, struggling. First, let me give you my definition of leadership real quick. What is leadership? Leadership is the capacity to influence others through inspiration, not manipulation, generated by a passion which is motivated by a vision, birth by a conviction which is produced by a sense of purpose. It's a very long definition, but you want to write it all down. It took me about 25 years to write that one sentence, because that's how long it takes sometimes for you to decipher what something is. I've read so many materials and books and listened to so many DVDs and CDs and listened to some of the gurus in leadership, and I've come to the conclusion that most of them had parts of the answers. So this is my present definition of leadership after 30 years. If you look at that sentence carefully, you will discover that leadership is not something that you pursue. Leadership is a result. So if you want to become a leader in an area of life, you have to turn this sentence upside down and start from the bottom. For example, if you want to become a leader in the world, you first got to have a sense of purpose. That is number one. It's not showing up there. And that purpose produces a conviction. And that conviction produces a vision that a person sees of their life. Then the vision is what causes the passion. When a person can see a future, it generates a passion for them to wake up in the morning. That passion is what produces inspiration in other people. And this is very important when you're talking about a business. If you're not passionate about something enough to inspire people around you, you'll never become a successful person. When you inspire people, they allow you to influence them. And when you can influence people, which is the impact of your character on them, through your passion and inspiration, then they call you a leader, which is in reality an integration of purposes. So leadership is really a product of discovering a purpose that gives you a conviction that you were born to do something, that gives you a vision that you begin to see how to do it, that produces a passion for you to go and pursue it, and that passion to pursue it inspires other people. Once you inspire people, they will give you their talents and gifts, their energies. They'll serve your vision once they've been inspired. Now, what's important here is that if you can't inspire people, then you cease being a leader and you become a manipulator. Whoever you cannot inspire, you must manipulate. Most of the people that you call leaders, I call them professional manipulators, because they know how to play games with your emotions, play games with your fears. They threaten you. They control you. And we basically call them, in technical terms, dictators. The pulpits are filled with those people. They're not real leaders. They manipulate people. Some of the greatest leaders in the world are people who run non-profit organizations. And that's because they don't not necessarily pay the people who are working. The people work for another reason. And that reason is they're motivated by an inspiration they got from the leader. The cause draws them in. And in many cases, that is why it's difficult for pastors to explain their value to people. I'm talking about good pastors. And this is why many pastors' salaries are far below what they should be, because in the world of business, sometimes you can't measure in quantifiable form the value of that pastor in inspiring so many people to do a powerful work and not pay them. You should get paid for that because it takes a lot of skill to inspire people with vision. With that in mind, let me talk a little bit about the power of that vision in business. Business is about living your future. It's about what we heard just now, finding your core passion and pursuing it. And vision to me is a misunderstood component in leadership. So I wrote some thoughts down here from one of my books out there, and I want you to just think about them. Number one, the greatest gift God ever gave man is not the gift of sight, but it's the gift of vision. Why? Because sight is a function of the eyes, but vision is a function of the heart. Sight is limited to the capacity of the eyes, but vision is limited only by the boundaries of your imagination. Isn't that awesome? That's why I am very suspicious about my eyes. I don't trust my eyes when it comes to living. The greatest enemy of your vision is your eyes, your sight. Because sight restricts you to the present. You know why entrepreneurs are always considered crazy? Because they keep seeing things that other people's eyes can't see. That's why I tell you, vision is the heart. It's the beginning of business. You got to see something so clearly that you have to describe it to those who can't see it. And that vision is what releases you to the uncharted waters of the future. You begin to dream. Sight captures the present, but vision captures the future. Sight deals with what is, but vision deals with what could be. I'm talking to aspiring entrepreneurs today, sitting in this room. Some of you stayed at this luncheon because you want to start a business. And don't know what to do. Some of you sitting here because your business failed and you're afraid to start again. Some of you are here because you are in business but you're stuck. You owe everybody and ain't making nothing. Some of you are here today because you are business people and you're basically paying the bills and paying the creditors, but there's nothing really to show for your efforts. And then there are those here today who are in business and your business is doing fairly well and you want to go to the next level. Well, here's where you start. The business of visionary leadership. Number one, vision is the capacity to see farther than your eyes can see. That's how I define vision. You got to be able to see beyond what you can see. And secondly, vision is the ability to see beyond your eyes. And you must stop trusting your sight. You cannot see things as they are if you're going to go into business. You have to begin to see things as they could and should be. You know, we built our organization from zero. I mean, it was nothing. It was just an idea in my head, planted there by God, of course. And I saw this powerful thing, this vision. And today, everything that people laughed at me as being a dreamer has come to pass. You know, we employ over 100 people, and our business is very, very busy. And we affect millions of people. Our products are distributed worldwide, and we have to operate a number of business and companies together with that because we are so wide in our global scope that our business demanded that we see like an eagle. We got to see far all the time. Proverbs 29 says something that I want to bring to your attention. Very important verse. When I first read this verse, I was angry at God because this verse occurs twice in the book of Proverbs. And the first time it's written like this. It says,